Coulter calls Jasmine Crockett unqualified. Her response makes history. What if facts could truly silence the fury of political firebrands, turning a heated debate into a defining moment that reshapes the game? Imagine a CNN studio in 2025, charged with electric tension, where a rising Democratic congresswoman steps into the ring with a veteran conservative pundit known for her razor-sharp takedowns. That's the viral storm surrounding Jasmine Crockett's face-off with Coulter on Anderson Cooper 360, a clash that's not just sparked millions of views, but ignited debates about whether preparation and substance can finally outmatch provocation and bluster. Stick around as we unpack this explosive encounter, teasing the twists that left one side stunned and the other soaring, all while keeping you hooked on the mystery of how it unfolded. To grasp why this moment exploded across screens, let's rewind to the hype that built it into a must-watch spectacle. Conservative media had been priming the pump for weeks, with Fox News hosts like Sean Hannity dubbing it the night Coulter schools another woke Democrat. Tucker Carlson devoted segments to previewing what he called her inevitable destruction of the Texas rookie, fueling anticipation among right-leaning viewers. Social media buzzed with preemptive victory memes, conservative Twitter accounts crafting narratives of an easy win before the cameras even rolled. It all stemmed from Coulter's bold gauntlet on Joe Rogan's podcast, where she targeted young Democratic women as diversity hires who'd crumble under real scrutiny, pinpointing Crockett as the prime example of everything wrong with the modern Democratic Party. Viewed by over 10 million, the challenge rippled through political circles, with Democratic strategists whispering concerns about exposing their fresh talent to a debate veteran who's dismantled opponents for decades. Coulter, at 63, embodies the old guard of conservative commentary, a prolific author of 13 bestsellers, frequent TV guest, and provocateur whose sharp wit has defended Trump-era policies while attacking liberal agendas on immigration and identity. Her followers hail her as a fearless truth-teller, but critics label her divisive, especially amid recent controversies like 2023 backlash over perceived racist remarks on diversity. Reports suggest her influence has faced headwinds lately, with unverified rumors of canceled appearances and waning bookings amid cultural shifts. Here's what's being said in media circles, building intrigue without confirming the decline. For this debate, her prep was reportedly light, a spa morning and publisher lunch, confident she'd dominate as she has since the 90s. Her playbook, attack credentials, go personal, provoke emotion, a formula that's felled senators and governors alike. Enter Jasmine Crockett, 44, representing Texas's 30th district since 2023, a former civil rights attorney and public defender who's climbed from Dallas City Council to Congress with a focus on justice reform, voting rights, and economic equity. In just 2 years, she's made waves with incisive committee questions, including a notable 2024 spat with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Whispers claim she's a rising star, with speculative buzz about her appealing to younger voters amid Democratic pushes for fresh faces. Here's the talk from party insiders, adding mystery to her rapid ascent. Unlike Coulter, Crockett dove deep, pulling all-nighters with researchers, compiling dossiers on inconsistencies, prepping counters for every jab. As Anderson Cooper introduced them, the studio hummed with possibility, old fury versus new facts. But what really happened when the mics went hot? That's where the real sparks fly. The buzz had been building for weeks, transforming a routine CNN segment into a high-stakes spectacle that had everyone from political junkies to casual viewers marking their calendars. Conservative outlets fueled the fire, with Fox News hosts like Sean Hannity proclaiming it the night Coulter would school another woke Democrat, turning the anticipation into a frenzy. Tucker Carlson dedicated full segments to previewing what he dubbed her inevitable destruction of the Texas rookie, painting Crockett as an easy mark. Social media erupted with preemptive victory memes, conservative accounts churning out graphics and tweets predicting a quick Coulter win, amassing thousands of likes before the mics even went hot. It was more than hype. It felt like a cultural event, drawing in millions eager to see if the veteran pundit could add another notch to her belt of dismantled opponents. At the heart of it all was Coulter's provocative challenge, Dropped like a gauntlet on Joe Rogan's podcast just 2 weeks prior. With millions tuning in, she slammed young Democratic women in Congress as diversity hires who couldn't compete intellectually, declaring they'd crumble in 5 minutes against her. When Rogan pressed for a specific target, Coulter zeroed in. That Jasmine Crockett from Texas, she's the perfect example of everything wrong with the modern Democratic Party. The clip exploded, racking up over 10 million views and sparking endless commentary. Democratic strategists whispered concerns behind closed doors, fretting about exposing their rising star to a debate assassin who's built a career shredding careers with surgical precision over 2 decades. Reports suggest Coulter's bold calls have occasionally backfired, with unverified rumors of her underestimating foes amid her own recent controversies. Here's what's being said in media circles, adding layers of intrigue. Without confirming the missteps. Yet, Crockett personally pushed for the booking, telling aides, "Sometimes you have to fight the bully to show others how it's done," hinting at a confidence that intrigued insiders. While the public saw the surface drama, the real story simmered in their wildly contrasting preparations. Coulter, at 63, approached it with her signature nonchalance. A morning spa session in Manhattan followed by a leisurely lunch with her publisher to chat book tours. "I don't need to prepare for some rookie congresswoman," she reportedly told her assistant, banking on her decades of TV battles, 13 bestsellers, and a playbook of personal attacks that had felled senators and governors alike. Her confidence stemmed from a career of provocation, defending Trump policies while critiquing liberals on race and immigration, though recent years have seen backlash, with speculative buzz about declining invites amid cultural shifts. Here's the chatter from industry sources, building mystery around her staying power. Crockett, 44, took the opposite tack, diving into all-nighters in her congressional office, assembling a research team to dissect every Coulter book, interview, and tweet from the past 5 years. They mapped inconsistencies, prepped counters for attacks, and studied her patterns. Credential jabs first, personal insults by minute 5. As a former civil rights attorney who'd won tough cases in Dallas courtrooms, Crockett treated it like trial prep, her law degree and public defender grit fueling a strategy of facts over fury. Whispers claim this method signals a new wave in Democratic tactics, with unconfirmed reports of similar prep boosting young leaders. Here's what's floating around party circles, teasing bigger shifts. As the studio lights dimmed, these hidden contrasts set the stage for an unforgettable flip. As Anderson Cooper sets the stage for Democratic messaging post-2024 elections, the CNN studio crackles with unspoken energy, red, white, and blue backdrops framing a showdown that's already got viewers on edge. Ann Coulter, poised in her black blazer, wastes no time unleashing her arsenal, her voice laced with that signature disdain honed over decades of TV battles. She dives straight in, declaring the Democratic Party's fatal flaw, electing based on demographics over qualifications, a jab that lands like a well-aimed dart, designed to undermine before the real fight begins. Her posture is perfect, eye contact locked on the camera, exuding the confidence of someone who's toppled giants with words alone. Reports suggest this tactic has crushed many, with unverified whispers of her leaving opponents reeling in past clashes. Here's what's being said among media vets, adding a layer of intrigue to her predatory style without confirming the body count. Coulter pivots personal, zeroing in on Crockett as the perfect example of this alleged mess, a congresswoman with 5 minutes in office now posing as a party spokesperson. It's a calculated dismissal, painting her as unqualified fluff, handed a safe Democratic seat after one local win. The studio falls pin-drop silent, the weight of her words hanging heavy as conservative feeds outside start buzzing with early clips. She presses harder, questioning Crockett's lived experience, mocking her path from law school to city council to Congress without ever running a business, creating jobs, or handling payroll. How is she qualified to vote on economic policy for millions? Coulter sneers, her tone dripping with mockery, turning the attack into a spotlight on supposed inexperience. Speculation has swirled about similar broadsides in Coulter's recent outings, with rumors claiming they've alienated even allies amid Our Trump critiques. Here's the chatter from political podcasts, building curiosity about her evolving edge without nailing down facts. The assault escalates, Coulter leaning forward with what feels like a knockout. I've debated the best minds for over 20 years, written bestsellers, appeared on every network, and this congresswoman thinks she can compete? It's almost adorable. It's vintage provocation, meant to provoke emotion, exploit weakness, a formula that's reportedly felled senators and governors. Anderson Cooper watches intently, the tension palpable as Crockett jots notes in royal blue, her legal pad a quiet counterpoint. Whispers suggest Coulter's minimal prep, spa days over deep dives, might be her Achilles heel, with unconfirmed stories of past underestimations. Here's what's floating in insider circles, teasing potential cracks. Viewers at home lean in, conservatives prepping victory tweets, liberals bracing for fallout. But Crockett's calm demeanor hints at something brewing beneath the barrage. The initial volley sets a brutal tone, Coulter's fury aimed to dismantle before Crockett speaks. Yet that unflappable note-taking suggests the tables might turn, and what comes next could flip everything. Crockett finally lifts her gaze from the legal pad, her smile steady and knowing, like a lawyer who's seen every trick in the book and has the evidence to back it up. Instead of firing back with heat, she channels calm authority, quoting her Dallas grandma. When someone tears you down to build themselves up, they're on shaky ground. Coulter rolls her eyes, muttering about folksy wisdom, but Crockett ignores it, maintaining eye contact with Anderson Cooper, as if the interruption is just white noise. It's a poised pivot that shifts the room's energy instantly. The audience hushes, sensing this isn't the emotional meltdown Coulter banked on. Whispers have circulated about Crockett's courtroom cool under fire, with unverified reports claiming it's helped her flip tough cases. Here's what's being said among legal circles, adding a layer of intrigue to her unflappable vibe without confirming the wins. She dives in smoothly, correcting Coulter's first misconception head-on. Not a direct leap from law school to politics, but 6 hard years practicing civil rights law, including 3 as a public defender in Dallas County. I represented over 400 clients, single moms facing eviction, veterans battling PTSD after minor arrests, teens from broken homes deserving second chances, she explains, her Texas drawl adding relatable grit without overdoing it. The camera catches Coulter's eyes narrowing, a subtle crack in her armor, as Crockett paints a picture of lived justice reform, not bookish theory. It's a masterstroke, turning the attack on experience into a showcase of her own frontline battles, where real stakes meant saving homes or futures. Speculation buzzes that this hands-on history sets Crockett apart from pundits, with rumors suggesting it's fueled her rapid congressional rise amid Democratic pushes for diverse voices. Here's the chatter from party insiders, building curiosity about her edge without locking in the narrative. Crockett keeps the momentum, her voice measured yet passionate, addressing the no real-world experience jab by detailing her law firm's launch at 28. Bootstrapped with a $50,000 personal loan, she hired staff, met payroll for 4 years, tackling everything from employment disputes to housing discrimination. When's the last time you worried about making payroll or fighting for a client who'd lose everything if you failed? She asks, flipping the script on qualifications. The studio murmurs grow, viewers at home leaning in as conservative confidence wavers. Reports claim such fact-based counters expose gaps in attack styles like Coulter's, with unverified stories of similar moments denting her rep in recent years. Here's what's floating around media podcasts, teasing potential vulnerabilities. Crockett's poise shines, her legal history not just a defense, but a weapon, proving substance over spectacle. The section builds, Crockett weaving in how this background taught her true quals come from results, not TV spots, delivering for people counting on you. Coulter tries interrupting, but it falls flat against the steady flow. It's a calm counter that corrects every misconception, leaving the pundit rattled and the narrative flipped. But Crockett's arsenal runs deeper, and what's coming next will seal the deal with even more devastating precision. Crockett presses her advantage seamlessly, her voice gaining a rhythmic strength that pulls the studio audience, and millions watching, deeper into the unfolding reversal. With Coulter's interruptions falling flatter by the second, she exposes her legislative wins like pulling aces from a stacked deck, each one flipping the narrative on what true qualifications mean in the political arena. "You claimed I've passed 0 significant bills," she says, her Texas drawl adding a layer of authentic fire without raising the volume. But last year alone, I helped push through the Veterans Healthcare Access Act, expanding mental health services for rural vets who've been overlooked for too long. The camera catches Coulter shifting uncomfortably, her smirk fading as Crockett details how the bill bridged partisan divides, requiring months of stakeholder meetings and compromises with Republicans, real work that delivered for those struggling post-service. It's a pointed contrast to punditry's soundbites, highlighting achievements that touch lives, not just headlines. She doesn't stop there, building momentum with the Small Business Recovery Grant Program, a lifeline that kept 2,000 businesses afloat in her district during economic rough patches. That meant jobs saved, families fed, communities thriving, not from TV appearances, but from grinding in committees, Crockett adds, her eyes locking on the camera as if speaking directly to skeptical viewers at home. The studio murmurs grow, a subtle wave of approval rippling through as she flips the script. These aren't abstract wins, but tangible results from knocking on doors and listening to real struggles. Speculation has buzzed about Crockett's behind-the-scenes deal-making, with unverified reports claiming her cross-aisle skills have quietly advanced progressive goals amid gridlock. Here's what's being said among Capitol Hill insiders, adding intrigue to her rising profile without confirming the whispers. Coulter tries to interject with a dismissive quip about nice talking points, but it lands hollow, the energy tilting firmly toward Crockett's fact-driven surge. The Congresswoman layers on more, unveiling the community internet initiative that brought high-speed access to underserved neighborhoods, helping kids with homework and seniors with telehealth. This wasn't handed to me. It took research, Republican buy-in, and persistence, she explains, underscoring how these bills required navigating complex policy weeds far from the influencer label Coulter slapped on. It's a masterful flip, exposing her opponent's misconceptions while showcasing a track record of delivery over decades of commentary. Whispers suggest such exposes could signal broader shifts in Democratic strategy, with rumors claiming young leaders like Crockett are redefining qualifications amid calls for substance over spectacle. Here's the chatter from political podcasts, building curiosity about evolving power. Dynamics. The audience leans in, Coulter's redness betraying her rattled state, as Crockett's poise turns the assault into a showcase of grit earned in courtrooms and campaigns. This building wave of revelations leaves no doubt Crockett's achievements aren't just defenses, they're weapons that dismantle the very foundation of Coulter's attacks. But the real clincher is yet to come, as she prepares to drive the point home with unassailable calm. Crockett surges forward with unyielding precision, her voice a steady force that now commands the studio, turning Coulter's remaining claims into crumbling ruins before a captivated audience. Addressing the jab about being handed a safe Democratic seat, she counters with the grit of her primary battle, defeating a six-term incumbent by over 20 points through sheer hustle. I knocked on 15,000 doors personally, raised funds from small donors while my opponent had corporate backing, she explains, her Texas draw infusing the facts with authentic fire. It's a decisive strike, exposing the misconception as not just wrong, but a dismissal of real voter-driven change, voters who chose her vision over the status quo. The camera captures Coulter's face reddening further, her interruptions reduced to feeble attempts that bounce off Crockett's impenetrable flow. Whispers have circulated about Crockett's grassroots prowess reshaping Texas politics, with unverified reports claiming it signals a broader Democratic pivot toward authentic campaigning. Here's what's being said among party strategists, adding a spark of mystery to her ascent without confirming the wave. She doesn't let up, weaving these achievements into a broader dismantling of Coulter's qualifications narrative, emphasizing that true leadership isn't measured in TV spots or book sales, but in delivering for families on healthcare costs, job creation, education funding, and infrastructure. The people of Texas's 30th District didn't send me to Congress to trade insults on television. They sent me to solve problems, Crockett declares, her eyes shifting to the camera with direct, unflinching resolve. It's a masterful pivot, flipping the script entirely. While Coulter provoked with personal barbs, Crockett responds with substance that resonates, proving her work changes lives in measurable ways. The studio audience murmurs swell into audible approval, a subtle tide turning as conservative viewers at home might squirm, sensing the unraveling. Speculation buzzes that such fact-heavy takedowns could erode the old provocation model, with rumors suggesting Coulter's style has lost edge amid recent cultural backlashes. Here's the chatter from media analysts, building intrigue about evolving discourse without nailing down the decline. The decisive blow lands with devastating calm as Crockett circles back. But when someone questions my qualifications to serve, I'm responding with facts every time, because that's what qualified public servants do. We show our work. It's a mic drop moment, leaving no room for rebuttal, her poise transforming the debate from assault to autopsy. Coulter sits in stunned silence, her rapid-fire comebacks evaporated, face a mask of barely contained shock. For the first time in memory, the pundit who built a career on demolishing foes is left wordless. The control room tenses, producers exchanging glances as the segment wraps, Anderson Cooper navigating the awkward hush. Reports claim this silence marked a rare crack in Coulter's armor with unverified stories of similar moments hinting at her waning dominance. Here's what's floating in political podcasts, teasing deeper vulnerabilities. The exchange isn't just a win. It's a dismantling that echoes beyond the studio. As the lights hold on Coulter's frozen expression, the real explosion brews outside, ready to turn this into a viral phenomenon that reshapes everything. The segment wraps with Coulter in stunned silence, her usual barrage of comebacks nowhere to be found, as Anderson Cooper navigates the awkward hush to commercial. But outside the studio, the real explosion ignites. Social media detonates like a digital wildfire, turning Crockett's poised dismantling into an instant viral phenomenon that floods feeds and trends worldwide. Within seconds, clips of her key lines, "When's the last time you worried about making payroll?" and the grandma quote start circulating, racking up 1 million views on Twitter in the first hour alone. Hashtags like #CrockettDestroys, Coulter, and #Facts Over Fury explode, with TikTok erupting in reaction videos. Users stitch her responses over shocked face memes of Coulter, some garnering hundreds of thousands of likes in minutes. Instagram stories flood with overlays of her closing statement, progressive accounts hailing it as empowerment gold, while even neutral viewers share for the sheer drama. Reports claim the full exchange hit 10 million views across platforms overnight, with unverified buzz suggesting it broke records for political clips. Here's what's being said on analytics sites, fueling speculation about its staying power without confirming the numbers. Media landscapes transform too, with the exchange becoming a case study in communication evolution. Political science profs weave it into curricula, from high schools teaching debate prep to colleges analyzing calm under fire. Harvard Business Review even pens the Crockett method on crisis negotiation, inspiring exec coaching firms to offer similar trainings for Fortune 500 leaders. International outlets like the BBC and The Guardian dissect it as a discourse death, hosting symposia at places like Oxford and the London School of Economics on how prep changes political talk. Entertainment jumps in. Netflix greenlights a series on young women in politics, drawing from Crockett's arc, while her speaking fees skyrocket 400% via the Washington Speakers Bureau, packing halls with audiences hungry for her blend of grit and grace. Even conservative media grapples. Fox's silence post-debate speaks volumes, with rumors suggesting Coulter's slots dried up amid backlash. Unconfirmed chatter from industry sources hints at her influence waning, adding mystery to the media shakeup. Crockett's trajectory soars, her book Prepared: How Facts Beat Fiction in the Battle for America's Future, hitting New York Times bestseller status in weeks, outselling Coulter's latest by a 3-to-1 margin, a delicious irony not lost on observers. She leverages the platform for advocacy, from redistricting fights protecting Black and brown communities to viral takedowns of Trump ties like her Epstein Files jabs that rack up millions more views. As a plaintiff in ongoing litigation against Texas gerrymandering, she embodies the fight for fair maps, her approval ratings jumping as donors flood in. Whispers claim she's eyed for higher roles, like ranking member on oversight, with speculative buzz positioning her as a 2028 contender. Here's the talk from party insiders, building excitement about her star pollen. We're without verifying the path. It's a trajectory that proves one debate can launch legacies, inspiring a wave of competence over chaos. These broader ripples aren't just echoes, they're reshaping waves, forcing a rethink of how politics plays out. But the true question lingers. Will this spark lasting change, or fade like so many viral moments? As the echoes of Jasmine Crockett's poised dismantling of Ann Coulter fade from that charged CNN studio, we're left with a moment that transcends a single debate. It's a snapshot of political evolution in real time. What began as a hyped showdown, with Coulter's provocative jabs on qualifications and experience, flipped into a masterclass where facts and preparation silenced fury. Crockett corrected misconceptions with her legal grit, years as a public defender fighting for the overlooked, launching a firm on a shoestring, passing bills that saved businesses and expanded veteran care, turning attacks into showcases of substance. Coulter's stunned silence marked the turning point, her playbook of personal barbs crumbling under the weight of undeniable achievements, sparking a viral frenzy that hit millions of views and reshaped narratives overnight. This clash isn't just about two women, it's a battle of styles, provocation versus preparation, that prompts deeper reflection on how politics is changing. For decades, figures like Coulter thrived on divisive soundbites, building empires on emotional takedowns that often skirted facts. But Crockett's calm counters, rooted in real-world results, suggest a shift. In an era of information overload, substance might finally eclipse spectacle. Her rise to democratic leadership, best-selling book outselling Coulter's, an inspiration for young Poles adopting her method highlight this evolution. Fact-checking in real time, policy over insults. Conservative corners scramble, their pre-debate victory memes flipping into defensive posts as mega Twitter accounts go quiet or pivot to calling it liberal bias. Fox News control rooms, monitoring live, pull back from amplifying, with insiders whispering of a rare Coulter blackout. Rumors suggest her team advised silence amid the backlash, though that's unconfirmed chatter from media leaks. Here's the intrigue it adds, leaving questions about her next move. Liberal voices amplify the win. Joy Reid tweets praise for Crockett's fact-fueled takedown, her post with a clip surging to 200,000 likes, while Republican strategist Rick Wilson calls it a masterclass in prep versus performance, his retweets hitting 75,000 fast. Even across the aisle, Ben Shapiro admits Crockett outworked her foe, doubling down despite fan pushback. Facts don't care about feelings. The most unexpected nod? A deleted post from Steve Bannon labeling it a clinic. Screenshots circulating like wildfire, hinting at reluctant respect. International outlets jump in. The BBC runs a segment on redefined discourse. The Guardian headlines, "The Night Punditry Died," analyzing the generational clash with millions engaging globally. Cable news bookers go into overdrive. Crockett's office fielding invites from MSNBC, ABC, and more within an hour. Donors pouring in as her approval ratings spike 12 points in early polls. Coulter's feed stays dark, a first in over a year, amid reported tour hiccups, with speculative takes claiming it signals her waning clout. Here's what's floating in conservative circles without verifying the slide. The contrast is stark. Progressive viewers celebrate a blueprint for fighting back, while some conservatives privately rethink attack plays. It's not just viral, it's a cultural quake reshaping how debates are seen, with reaction videos on YouTube amassing views in the million, and users dubbing it the unqualified comeback. This immediate frenzy isn't fading, it's snowballing into lasting waves that could redefine political battles entirely. The viral storm from Crockett's dismantling of Coulter doesn't fade. It ripples outward, reshaping politics in ways that echo far beyond that CNN studio. Months later, Democratic leadership takes swift notice, naming her to the House Democratic team as its youngest member ever, a move that catapults her into the spotlight for steering party strategy. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries dials her personally with kudos, while Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer name-drops her in speeches about the party's future, signaling a shift toward bold, fact-driven voices amid post-2024 soul-searching. Young Democrats nationwide adopt what pundits dub the Crockett method: intense prep, real-time fact-checks, and turning attacks into policy showcases, leading to a surge in local runs and campaign trainings focused on substance over spectacle. Republican operatives quietly rework playbooks, admitting in leaks that provocation alone can't counter such grounded firepower. Speculation swirls that this marks a generational pivot, with unverified reports claiming it eroded old guard tactics like Coulter's amid broader Democratic gains. Here's what's being said among strategists, teasing a potential overhaul without confirming the tide. Media ripples amplify it. From Harvard case studies to Netflix series, the Crockett effect is teaching calm competence as the new power move. Speculation buzzes that this could erode old guard tactics, with unverified reports claiming declining bookings for provocateurs amid cultural demands for authenticity. Here's what's being said in industry circles, teasing a broader media pivot without confirming the full decline. Yet, the thought-provoking core lingers. Can preparation truly outlast provocation in politics? Or is this a fleeting win in a system still hooked on drama? Crockett's trajectory, from courtroom fighter to congressional force, encourages us to reflect on political evolution. If facts beat fury here, imagine a landscape where leaders prioritize results over rage, bridging divides instead of widening them. It's a question that hits home amid ongoing fights like gerrymandering suits and policy battles, urging viewers to consider, in your own world, does substance win debates, or does noise still rule? This moment didn't just launch a superstar, it challenged the status quo, proving one prepared voice can spark waves of change, inspiring a generation to choose homework over hot takes. As we wrap this dive into a debate that redefined discourse, ponder if this signals lasting evolution or just a viral blip. If Crockett's blend of prep and poise inspired you, smash that like button to show support for substance in politics. Drop prep wins in the comments below. Share your take on whether facts can reshape our divided landscape, and let's build a conversation that keeps evolving. Your voice could be the next ripple. Subscribe for more stories on leaders flipping the script.